Good morning, good afternoon, Facebook. I'm just going to check whether I'm live, and I should be live, and all will be well. Just give me a second. I'm waiting for Bridgetti to join me so I can close that tab, and now that I'm live, and if you're watching now, welcome to the show. This show is, well, first of all, let's get this straight. Welcome to the show and the replay. Today we're talking about green screens, and hopefully Bridgetti will turn up in a moment, and we'll be Bridgetti and Stephen in discussion, talking about how we can actually use green screens in our broadcasts. Welcome to the show. If you type in hello and say hello to Tish, thank you for joining us, and all good. As you can see, I'm at Stonehenge. I'm just going to check whether Bridgetti is actually online. Yes, Bridgetti is actually in Messenger live, so Bridgetti will be joining me in a moment, and we'll have two green screen cameras actually in use. Now, if you type hello in the comments, we'll send you links to the software we're using today to create this green screen effect, and then you can try it out for yourself, and you can do green screen broadcasts. Now, the first thing is that it's a change from your normal background. I mean, my normal background is me, but I can quickly replace that. And it's as easy as that. I'll say hello to Chuck. Chuck, thank you for joining us. And hello, Corinda. And so Chuck and Corinda are here. Nice to see you both. You both said hello, and we'll reply. You've got a link now to XsplitVCam, which I'm using today, and also a link to eCam, which Bridgetti will be using shortly. Now, just a word. Yeah, if you take the link that's Corinda's asking, is it a trial? And yes, if you take the link that's actually in the reply comment to you, then you can go along and you can try it out, I think. Hello.
Hi, Stephen. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. And you?
I'm very well. Can't complain. Thank you.
Good. Now, when anybody makes a comment today, they will be given a link to eCam and a link to XsplitVCam. So there's Bridgetti's background. Now, can you explain exactly how you're doing that?
Yes, I can. I am using eCam software, which you've already told people. And the way this works is that eCam has the ability to provide a virtual camera. And behind me, I have a green screen, which is very inexpensive. I actually just got a piece of fabric myself, green fabric, and put it behind me. And that's what I'm using as my green screen. So how to get it to work with Be.Live or with any other streaming software? Be.Live or any other browser-based software will be able to use your virtual camera as long as Chrome can see it. Because remember, your streaming software like Be.Live runs on the Chrome browser. So if Chrome can recognize your virtual camera, whichever choice that is, whether it's on Mac or whether it's on Windows, and it doesn't matter what virtual camera you are using, you can take your pick. If Chrome can recognize your virtual camera, then it will work on Be.Live. That's the only prerequisite. Chrome must be able to see it, and you can check that by going into your Chrome settings and checking the camera and making sure that you've selected your virtual camera. You can, of course, also run WebRTC to make sure that your camera is running well. So that's the other check that you can do. But that's basically the only prerequisite. And so with some of the virtual cameras, you can use either a blue screen or a green screen. They're both referred to as a green screen. So it's a plain piece of fabric. You can go and buy a professional green screen. I think they probably start, do you know what the prices are? I need to do the conversion from my currency, and then I could tell you what they start at roughly. So just give me a second. I will tell you now. Okay, so in US dollars, if you buy a green screen like on eBay, you're probably talking about $20 and up. It can go, you know, you can get a very, very professional looking green screen. So $20 for your cheapest green screen and up. Or you can just make one yourself, which I did very, very inexpensively. It cost me, I don't know, maybe, I think it was, the fabric cost me less than $10 and I made my own green screen. So you really don't need to look at spending a lot of money. Now with eCam, I can tell you for sure that for now, they can only accommodate a green screen, like with real green fabric. Blue doesn't work at this point. They will change it later. But I do know that with the software that you're using right now, Stephen, you can use a plain blue or plain green green screen, and both of those will work. And you also get software where you can not only just use a green screen, you can also remove your background entirely and use a green screen of your choice. So there are various options. And I'm going to say hello to Tish and say hello to Corinda and hello to Kelly. I think, I'm not sure, Stephen, are you able to hear me? Have I lost you? I'm not getting any sound from you. Okay, so I'm not sure, maybe one of us needs to refresh, but I'm not hearing you. Tish, can you give me an indication in the comments if you're able to hear me, if you're able to hear Stephen, if you're able to hear both of us? Because at this point, I'm not hearing Stephen, but I don't want to refresh at the same time as him. So either Stephen goes first or I go first to refresh so we can try and fix this. So Tish, if you could please let me know in the comments if you can hear me and Stephen at the same time, because I can't hear Stephen. Okay, so you can hear me. Fantastic. Thanks, Tish. I'm going to send Stephen a message and let him know that he just needs to go and refresh, because I can't hear him either. So give me a second. I'm just going to send Stephen a message quickly to let him know that I can't hear him. Okay, I think Stephen has actually realized what's happening, and Stephen has gone out and he's gone to refresh. And I'm sure he'll be back in just a second. So do any of you have any specific questions that you have with regards to a green screen? Kelly, thanks very much.
Right, can you hear
Stephen,
me?
are you back? Yes, I can hear you now.
Right, okay. Panic over. I don't actually have a green screen behind me, as you can see. I can.
You're doing background removal.
Yep, that's it. So there's no with the XsplitVCam, there is no green screen involved. All you need to do is to calibrate your camera, and then you can do a straight photo swap, and you can bring photos in and out, and you can be anywhere in the world, or you can decide which backdrop you're going to have. And I'm just going to quickly change. There we are.
That seems to work, Stephen. That seems to work pretty much like Zoom, because in Zoom with their green screen, you can also do background removal. I think without having to have a green screen. But I've seen in Zoom it works very well as well. So I don't know. Do you have, I've got a Mac, so I only use the Ecamm virtual camera.
Yeah,
Apart from you using XSplit, right?
correct.
Okay. Do
XSplit
you have any
on.
other Windows software that people could use to get a green screen?
I bought this one, so I'm batting for this one. There is other software out there that was posted in Be.Live, but this is the best I've seen. So that's why I'm going with it and recommending it as the way to do it if you're on a PC on Windows 10.
Now, I see Kelly
Yeah.
said that he lost his virtual camera after the Windows 10 update on his tablet. So obviously there is something in Windows 10 that's not playing nicely with the green screen. What version of Windows are you using, Stephen?
I'm
Just
on
so
Windows
people
10.
know.
Windows 10.
Ah,
The software works on Windows 10. But Kelly was saying about his tablet. I'm on a PC.
so was Kelly, were you using a green screen on your tablet? That's pretty awesome, I think, if you're
I don't
able to
know.
do that.
He just said he lost his virtual camera. And Corinda was saying, talking about green screen, what lighting is the best? Bridgetti, you
Well,
first.
I have not invested in professional lighting yet. My camera, I'm using the Logitech Brio, and that's got a built-in light, which does help. I have got an overhead light, which is literally just above my head. So and it's daylight here at the moment. So that's the only lighting I am using right now. I do have another light which I use at night when it's a little bit darker, but for now I've got the added help of natural lighting here as well. So as far as lighting is concerned, and someone else raised this question the other day as well with you and I with regards to lighting. The one thing you don't want to do is have lighting, front-facing lighting, if you're wearing glasses, because the light's going to bounce off your glasses. Now you
That's right.
have got professional lighting, right?
Correct. I mean, that was Claire Evans, who said she noticed that our glasses were not reflecting. And that's because of the lighting that we have. I've got two soft boxes, one either side of me, and they're going onto the wall in front of me, and the light is bouncing back. So you need good lighting if you're going to use a background, and you don't want it pointing at you, because that's where you get the problems. People think to be on camera, you want the light pointing at you. You don't. You want the light pointing away from you and reflecting towards you. Now, unfortunately, these lights are going onto a cream wall and then bouncing back to give, and the investment in the lighting was $80, which, in terms of production value, is not too much to pay. I mean, my investment has been in the camera, the microphone, and now the lighting. And basically, that's all I've done ever since I started broadcasting.
And those are once-off investments. For me also, my biggest investment was my camera. That was single-handedly my biggest investment, and for me, the best investment. And I say that because I've been able to stream events and get a very, very great angle at when I'm streaming events. So I don't regret making the investment in my camera. And then of course my microphone as well, which I got after, and it really just increases the value of your broadcast. If this is something you're going to be doing seriously and every single week, then it is worth the investment.
I think it's a boon for solo broadcasting to bring extra interest to what you're doing. If you can, I should go back to one of my previous photographs. If I was talking, I'm just going to go to recently used. Hopefully, I'll be able to find the photograph. Just a minute, that one. If I was talking about my trip to Dublin, then I could talk about Trinity College, which is now behind me. I can bring it into sharp relief. And I can take you on a tour of Trinity College with 4 or 5 photographs through the course of half an hour, tell my story of my day in Dublin or my weekend in Dublin with Facebook, and bring the story to life. And as a solo broadcast, it works well. It works well. Now we've got a question from Peter. I'll go back to the both of us. A question from Peter, which is an observation from Peter's friends. I'm using XSplit, but people are saying to me that it flickers too much in the background. Well, first of all, Pete, if you want to come in, just type guest and you can bring your XSplit camera on, and then we XSplit 2, Ecam 1. Not that we're sort of rivals on this, but and we can actually go through any ways in which you can actually improve it, because it is first of all, it's a lighting. You've got to get that right. I agree with Bridgetti there. And the second thing is you've got to select the right image. If you select an image which is too close to your own coloring, then it ain't going to work. So image selection is a large part of this. And what you try to do is get a contrast between what you're wearing and the background, so you stand out more. And with the Ecamm, what you can also, with the XSplit, what you can do is you can actually blur the background so you can more into the foreground, and the camera is definitely, the concentration of everybody is definitely on you. So a challenge, Pete, if you want to sort of iron out your problems, then hop on now and oh right, on your iPad. Are you on your iPad at the moment? When you were running XSplit, were you running it on your PC? Hopefully. Not sure. Okay, well, we'll wait till Peter gets back to us. But I think if you want to tell a story, I mean, if you're doing a story, I mean, when we do on the 26th of February is a 5-hour charity broadcast from 9 a.m. through to 2 p.m. Eastern. Bridgetti was the inspiration for the 5-hour charity broadcast, which Fonz and I are going to do. And we're looking forward to hearing more about the gentleman whose charity you're actually promoting or whose work you're promoting. And you can bring in photographs as the background, can't you?
Yes. Oh, Kelly's saying, can I wave my hands, which I'm doing now.
Right, just a minute. Can you do that again? You know, full screen.
Oh, okay. So I'm using, you know, I very often use my hands when I'm talking as well. So I'm not sure what, you know, how that looks. Kelly, how does that look?
Right, let Kelly decide. I'm not going to do that because I know it doesn't work. If I put my hands up, then one of them may well disappear. I may disappear. It's not very good on.
Yeah, that disappears slightly.
Yeah.
So Kelly, let me know what that looks like when I'm flickering my hands. I'd like to know what it looks like. I mean, to me it seems okay, but let me know what you think.
Yeah, it did seem okay. Better than that. No blurring. I mean, it's just too quick for the camera to actually deal with it. And the other factor I've got at the moment is I'm actually hosting the show as well, which means I've got a double load on my computer. Right, and Kelly confirms that it's looking great and it's not disappearing at all. So there you are. All good. Now, if you've got virtual camera, or if you've got software, you want to come on and try it, then just type guest in the comments and you can come and join us on camera. And I wish Pete could get to his PC, because then he could come in and we could actually try and sort it out for him, because I know he's actually bought it. And when you buy something, you want to get it working. So.
Oh yes, obviously. And what is with for the benefit of our viewers? What was the cost of your green screen setup?
Right, okay. Bobby's saying, are you the guy on vacation? Have a great holiday. And this was 2 weeks ago in Dublin, Bobby, when I was invited for a 3-day visit to Facebook in Ireland. And that was quite a weekend. Right, the cost of this software. If you buy the software outright, it's $49.95. However, it's part of the XSplit family of products. And if you want to buy XSplit itself, including the VCam and including the game broadcaster as well, then you can get the whole set of three for $60. So in terms of XSplit is a fantastic way to go solo on screen. So I got that. I bought the whole thing for $60 for a year, and I'm already having great fun. So it's more than worth the expenditure.
So, Stephen, is that $60 per annum, or is it $60 once off?
Right. Okay. It's $60 a year. And I mean, as a software guy, I know that you have to keep bringing updates out, and keeping software up to date and cutting edge costs money. So I don't mind actually paying the software house to actually do that. So that's where I'm coming from. And Bobby's saying that it looks like I'm actually still in Dublin. Wish I was. It was a great weekend. In fact, the group who went there, there's over 50 Brits got together in a group on Messenger, and we're still talking to each other 3 weeks after the event. So it was good. So, but I can actually just quickly flick over to another photograph. Where shall I go to? Let's go to Berlin. All I need to do is search for the photograph, and I can have a backdrop, and I am now in Berlin. It's just so easy to actually, yeah, you can do anything with XSplit, Kelly. Right? Can you actually change your background, Bridgetti, or is it?
Yes, I can. Yes, I can. Let me try and
screen's yours.
Do 1 or 2 changes for you. So I can also blur my background. So that's the blurred effect. And let me change to something else. There, I'm in the kitchen. A lounge. These are just, pre-selected things that I had done previously. Let's have a look. So, yeah. You can change them on the fly, similar to what you have been doing.
To suit your mood, really. You can
have
any background you want.
I can move house very quickly.
Well, it's just a way of actually changing things up and making things more interesting. In a broadcast like this now, if we were both sat in an office, then it would work. Let's find my office, and hopefully, if everything works, I can go. Well, I'll go to a room with a view. Okay, and now you can see the view behind me, and I've got a little bit of a problem with it, so I'll shrink myself down again. Right, and Peter, you should have got a reply when you first came on with a link to, well, Bridgetti, could you explain to Peter which software you're using?
Peter, I'm using eCam, which only works on the Mac. So eCam is a broadcasting software, but they have a virtual camera. So I'm using their virtual camera. So unfortunately, eCam only works on the Mac, not on Windows, but it's a once-off investment. It's currently $75, and that's a once-off payment. It's not an annual fee. But again, I must stress it's only available on Mac. So I'm using the eCam virtual camera.
Right. And how much? All right. Okay. How much does it cost, Bridgetti? So it's $75.
It's currently it's $75 a once-off payment, and that's lifetime updates. When I first got eCam, I paid $25 for it. So yeah, so I've got my green screens and everything included in that, because when you buy the software, it's a once-off investment, and you'll get lifetime updates with that. But they are in beta, so obviously the price is good. So if you're on a Mac, you want to go and grab. I actually do have an affiliate link if anyone's interested. So you get a bit of a discount there. But again, it'll only work on Mac. It will not work on the Windows.
And XsplitVCam will only work on Windows, not on the Mac, and it works on Windows 10.
Well, we can offer people both operating systems here and give them our perspective, which is fantastic. Because I can't speak to Windows. It's been many years since I've worked in the Windows environment, and I feel quite stupid whenever I am trying to help someone in Windows. I mean, I've used Windows all my life. I learned how to use a computer in the Windows environment. I used to teach people how to use Windows, and it's one of those things. If you don't use it, you lose it. And since I haven't worked in the Windows environment for so many years now, I feel completely lost in Windows. I must be honest. But I mean, if you like an environment, you like an environment, and you stick with it. You work with whatever works for you.
If you like software, you go with it. If you like broadcasting systems, you go with them. If it feels right, then you actually stay with it. And a couple of questions coming on. Kelly's first question is: does it take more CPU? Does it take more CPU on the Mac first?
No, it was one of the things that because it was in beta, initially it did, but they have figured it out and it no longer does. I've been keeping an eye on my CPU and I'm not seeing any issues. And I do have an older Mac. I mean, my Mac is a 2014. Yeah, my Mac's 2014, so it's not a new Mac.
Right, it's my turn to answer now. Kelly, I'm hosting this broadcast now and nervously watching the needle as it climbs over 90. It does take about 40% of your CPU. You can reduce that and lower the quality. But in terms of, I'm actually managing to host this broadcast, and as you can see in a moment, I can do it with 3 people on screen, and my computer is still ticking over as we say hello to Peter. Hello, Peter.
Hello, live from my kitchen. Don't read what's on the wall. You'll see my doctor's appointment.
Hi, Peter. Long time no see.
Hello.
Hey.
Hello there. Yeah, nice to see you. Can I just say, this is a God's honest truth. When I seen you today, Bridgetti, I actually thought that you were in a place with that stuff behind you. Not that one, but the one before. Absolutely, it's really, really good. I'm very impressed with it. Very good. But, Stephen, you've got the same as me. You're flickering away. I was on something yesterday that someone suggested that I still get a green screen at the back of what we've got and put it behind us, and that should be a better contrast so the camera knows with the green screen behind us. But Bridgetti, is compared to what we've got, it's big difference.
But she's on a Mac as well.
I know.
I mean, as Bridgetti said at the beginning, the software develops. This XSplit is only 2 months old, and it's acceptable. And if you've got the right lighting, and you choose the right picture, then it's not going to drive everybody
Yeah.
away.
Well,
I mean, when you did it yesterday with the lighting that you had, I mean, right. One of the things you've not got to do when you're on a green screen is try not to move, Peter,
very
because every
difficult.
time you move, it just screws everything up.
Very
You've got to try
difficult
and
with
sit
me.
still.
Very difficult with me because I'm
I know.
that way inclined. But as I say, someone says to me that maybe you should put a green screen on as well behind you, and it should make XSplit better. Because my chair was shown yesterday.
I think you're right. I think if you did have a green screen behind XSplit, you would get a much better effect.
Right.
I totally would agree with that.
Yes. Now, so a green screen, could you just maybe get something green and put it in your back wall behind you then? Or blue? Or a white sheet, would that work?
No, not white. It's either blue or green.
Right, okay.
So
Has one
what you
of,
see behind me now, that is where I live. That's Table Mountain behind me.
yes, okay. Now, one last question to Stephen. The XSplit takes up a lot of your CPU. That's why I'm on my iPad. My computer kept turning off today, just now. My screen kept turning off. Oh, I better go. Thank you very much.
Okay, cheers, Peter. Right, okay, let Peter take his phone call. Oh dear. Yeah, I mean, in order to make the most of it, you've got to have the right setup. I will try a green screen as well, see if that does improve things. Peter's busily talking away. Right, okay, let's catch up with the comments. And Kelly's saying he's got Windows only. So there we go. And I don't think, does
But
the software
Kelly,
run on iPad? Sorry.
pardon?
Does the software run on iPad?
Mine.
Ecamm, does it work on iPad?
Currently not. Currently not.
Right.
It's
okay.
only that's to be in a future release. For now, it's only available on desktop. So Kelly, I'm wondering, do you have a green screen? Were you using XSplit with a green screen, or not? Because that'll be good to know. So Tish
Right,
says she's an Apple user.
Yeah. Okay. And right, a comment from Kelly, which echoes what you've been saying, which is, yes, really good. First time I seen Bridgetti a few weeks ago, her hair was moving in the wind. That's what I was doing at Stonehenge the other day. And now the background looks steady. So the software is improving all the time. I'm thinking that the same is going to actually happen with XSplit as well. And we're joined by Darren. And Darren's saying, what did I miss out on? We're just talking green screens in general. We're talking about two systems, and you got the information in the reply to your comment. And you're welcome to ask any questions. Let's switch back to the two of us. You can ask any questions about green screens. We're getting to the stage now where the technology is improving all the time. And the fact that XSplit could put this virtual camera into a piece of software is good. And it's only released in October 2018, so it's going to get better. So Kelly, come back in a couple of months' time, and hopefully my hair, what there is of it, will not be wafting in the breeze.
It will get better. I mean, I know that when Ecamm first made its virtual camera available, there were issues as well, and it's still in beta. I mean, what I'm using now is still in beta. So they're still tweaking things. It is better than initially when I first used it. There's been, leaps and bounds in terms of improvement. And I'm sure the same is going to happen with XSplit. It's just come out, as you said, just 2 months old. And they will be working on it, and it will get better.
Right. Kelly's saying he hasn't used it at all yet. Tish is confirming she's been Apple since 2015, and Kelly is agreeing. All good. Right. Okay. Yeah. I was hoping that we'd be joined. Well, I'm glad Peter joined us, but I wish he'd had his green screen with him.
I
And
know, it would have been so nice if we could just have a look and see what it looked like when he was using it.
Yeah, and be able to help him, give him some tips on actually using it. He does. I mean, I don't know where he is today, but he does have a purpose-built office, which would be ideal. So we'll see. So if you're joining us now, welcome. If you want to join us on camera, then please do type guest. If you're watching and you've not said hello, then please say hello. We have an AutoResponderbot working today, and it will do two things. It will say thank you for joining us today, which is how we feel about doing these shows. We enjoy doing them. We enjoy your company. And the second thing is you get direct links to eCam and to XSplit, so you can actually try it out for yourself. And Tish is agreeing. Peter does have a very nice office. I don't think he can go into his office in winter, Tish. I think it might be a bit cold in there, especially up in Aberdeen. So
does he have his office in the basement?
No, you see, it's outside. It's an extension to the house, and I can ask him if he comes back. He's just disappeared entirely at the moment, but I can understand his reasons for not actually broadcasting from there. He'll be back in the spring, no doubt. It should be good. And
so Darren's asking,
we
are we talking Be.Live TV?
We are on Be.Live TV. This show is coming direct from Be.Live TV. Bridgetti is using eCam. I'm using XsplitVCam, not to be confused. One works on Apple, the other works on Windows, but we will take any questions you have on BeLive.tv at all. Any questions. You can join us on camera, just type guest, and we answer any of the questions that you have, or if you've got some observations, then please do join us, and we'll answer them, won't we? I mean, that's how we started out. We started out eons ago, years ago, answering questions about Be.Live TV.
Oh, Darren says he's a bit confused. So Darren, right. Yes, we're talking about green screens today, but we're talking particularly how you can use various green screen options along with Be.Live. So Be.Live doesn't natively have an option. In other words, doesn't have a built-in option at this point to use a green screen. It's not a native function with Be.Live. However, depending on your operating system, there are solutions, both for Windows and Mac, where you can use a virtual camera with Be.Live, and Be.Live will see your green screen or your virtual camera as long as Chrome is able to recognize your virtual camera. So if Chrome sees it, you will have no problem being able to live stream with a virtual camera on Be.Live, because that's what we're doing right now.
Right. Now, this is just to clear the confusion. This is what I look like normally when I broadcast. This is where I broadcast from 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, and that's what it normally looks like. If I'm going to do solo broadcasting, I can change the game and I can talk about anything, and I can actually do it from a different location. So I can replace my background just like that. Okay, and if I select the right photo, I'm just going to go to one I've had earlier, then that's it. Now, back to what was being said. I'll remove my background for the moment. Just a minute. We can do this. Oh, sorry, I can blur my background too. Just feature for feature. Right, background. I'm going to remove the background and come to me. Hopefully, yeah, it'll come back in a second. And just let me do it again. Right, so that's basically, oh, I'll try that again.
And
right, let's get the questions.
Chuck's going to be joining us.
Right, okay. And so is Alfredo. I can see him in the lobby. Right, okay. And okay. Darren is saying, want to start doing interviews with it instead of Be.Live. Reasons to do interviews with Be.Live rather than just on Facebook. Bridgetti, your starter for 10 is.
Hello.
No, I'll go first. Hello, Alfredo. Just give me a moment.
No problem.
Right. Be.Live TV is a totally different experience to using Facebook Live. First of all, as you can see, we can arrange the screen layout at the click of a button so that you can have different layouts. We can bring photographs in. I'm just going to bring a photograph in just to show the flexibility of this. And just a second, I'll get through to my photographs. We're not signed into Facebook. Okay, so let's pick a photograph at random just to show what can be done. And okay, I'll take that photo. Right, okay. And I've got the photograph. I'm going to bring it up to the broadcast. You can show images on screen and not show yourself. You can share your desktop. You can do all sorts of things that you can't do with Facebook Live. And you can have 4 people on screen or 3 people in a picture. Your thoughts, Bridgetti?
On Be.Live?
Yeah.
Okay, so things I love about Be.Live is, first of all, it's super easy to use. I love that you can use a frame, because I always use a frame. You can use a frame to brand yourself, or you can also use your frame to give some exposure to your sponsor if you have a show sponsor or you want to get a show sponsor. And things my audience love a lot is the fact that you can show their comments on screen. People absolutely love it when you are able to show their comments on screen, because it acknowledges your audience. And for audience engagement, there's nothing better than for people to feel that they are heard and acknowledged. And a great way of doing that with Be.Live is the ease with which you can display comments on screen. So that's one of the things I really, really like. And, you know, if I think of the early days of Be.Live, it's become a very, very stable software. We don't really have issues with Be.Live the way we had in the beginning when it was in beta. And the other great thing is that the community is 8,500 strong, roughly. So if you do have any issues with Be.Live, I mean, we've got so many tutorials now. There are loads of tutorials in Be.Live, in the Be.Livers group, if you haven't joined Be.Livers yet. So there's always someone, if you're stuck on something, there's always someone to help you. And yeah, that's why I like using Be.Live.
Peter.
Peter's
Hello.
back.
Now,
Peter's back.
It's a certain time of the day. Oh, just
a minute. I'm going to risk doing this, Peter. What have you got?
Poppy, sit.
All right, okay.
It's that time in the dog.
He got a dog.
Poppy.
Never go live with children and pets.
She knows it's tea time. Do you? Is it tea time? She can walk in the sunset, right? Lovely. Right, yes, so I'm sorry I lost a lot of the show there, but yeah, so the last question I was going to ask is, does XSplit affect your CPU? Because the reason I'm on my iPad is I went out to my garage where my computer is, and the what do you call it? The screen keeps going off, shutting down. So would XSplit do that?
I think it's probably coincidence, Pete.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, XSplit isn't there on startup. So if you switch machine on and then just leave it for a while and see what happens, because XsplitVCam doesn't run as soon as you actually start up. So we'll see. See what happens.
I've done it before, but Believe it or not, I get upset about little things when I see the head and the back and it's fuzzy and everything. I like it to be like Bridgetti's. That's what I like. Look at it, it's brilliant. It really is
Well,
stable. Look at
there
that.
is
Peter,
a
so
solution.
Peter, do you
Sorry.
use a green screen behind you or just background removal as well?
No, I've got cockroaches in the back of me.
That's funny.
Look.
Oh, dearie.
And to be honest, that's why I want a good background, because you don't have to worry if it's messy or anything like that. You just sit there and I think it's absolutely brilliant. So I'm going to look out for a good green. I'm going to get a green screen at the back of me as well and just put it up. But I want a mini
So
one.
I'll show you my green screen behind me. I'll take my image away, okay?
Okay, yeah, right.
So that's what it looks like.
And that's
my green screen.
And is that something on poles?
Yes, it's fabric, and I literally threaded it through 2 thin poles, one on top and one at the bottom, to hold it in place.
Right. Okay. Yeah. The trouble is, I don't think Sheila would let me do that in the kitchen. Do you think all over the world there's people in their kitchens and they've got green screens and cameras and the wife's saying, "Well, you get a blooming office."
Well, I was on someone's show the other day, and it was a lady, and she was streaming from her kitchen with a green screen. Well, fortunately it's her kitchen, so
yeah,
she's in charge.
Yeah.
But you know what she actually had? She actually had a pop-up green screen. Look, in the car you get those pop-up things, shades.
Yes.
That kind of just explodes.
Yes.
Okay, explodes not the right word, but it flips open, and then you can it folds up into a sort of figure of 8, and then you fold it. So she's actually got one of those green screens.
Can you also get those pop-up ones that photographers use to sit behind you?
Correct, you can. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I've got to say, it's lucky it's not my ex-wife from many years ago, because she would run in and shout at me and everything. I say, "Darling, people are watching this live."
Oh, dearie.
So that's my one. No, but it makes it look much more professional. I'm so jealous of yours. And would that work? When you say it's a Mac, I've got an iPad. Would it work with an iPad?
For now, not, but it's something that they're working on. Currently, it will only work on a computer, but they're working on it. So at some point in the future, it very likely will be available. Yes.
It makes a big difference. It's very professional looking, really. And I honestly thought that you were in a place today with that. So well done.
No. No such luck. I wish.
Yes. Okay. Well, thank you very much for answering. I don't know if I can help your show anymore. I know it's your guys' show.
It's a pleasure, absolute pleasure. So Darren says he's gone to step 1 of opening an account. So it looks like he's on his way.
Very good.
Right, and I've just given a link to a free course about BLIFBot, which currently has 5,300 students and a good rating. So if you take that free course, it will explain everything that you've seen today and what you can actually achieve using Be.Live.tv. It takes you through it step by step, doesn't assume anything, and you can go from FB Live to Be.Live.tv step by step. Okay, Alfredo, come on, Cameron, you've been quiet.
I don't have a green screen set up, but there are other options you can use green screen with. For example, I'm going to transition screens here. I have what you call, I think you've been using this before, web captioner.
Yeah.
And what that does is there's a green background as you can tell from there. So if once you actually chroma key out the green, you can select the text to go over your face like this, for example. And I don't know if the text is readable or not, but that's another example of using green screen. Besides inserting yourself into an image, you can use web captioner and then chroma key out the green so that all you get is text. I'm probably going to select a different scene that's a lot more clear than this. Let me find a different scene here.
Okay, so you're on OBS?
Yes, I am on OBS. So it's a different setup compared to what you would do with Be.Live. So yes, I'm currently on OBS.
Okay. Right. When you've got the setup, I'll switch back again.
And Darren says he's excited about starting because he's got so many interviews ready to rock. So it looks like Darren's all well on his way to getting his green screen set up.
That's good. Right, as we look forward to the weekend, Peter, what are you doing this weekend?
Well, I've got something exciting to do. Really exciting. This will be my first cycle run as a leader, and we've been I put it out as an event, and I've been on Messenger and put a bit of work in it, and I hope that some people turn up. The usual people will turn up, but it's my first official run as a cycle leader, and I'm going to be taking people out to get fit tomorrow morning.
Fantastic. That's exciting.
Good. Wish you every success with that, Pete.
Pictures.
And Alfredo, what are you doing this weekend? Have you got anything exciting lined up?
This weekend we actually have a food and clothes giveaway at our local church. So Saturday we're gonna help that out, and then at Sunday we're going to have our normal church service. It was normally between 10:30 and 1, but because of the incoming basketball stadium, our church hours now is changed from 10:30 to 12. So it's an hour and a half service instead of being a 2-hour-and-a-half service. So Saturday I have a food clothing giveaway with the church, and then Sunday we have a church service, but it's going to be an hour and a half.
Okay. Bridgetti.
I'm not doing anything exciting this weekend. I am going to chill. That's my plan for this coming weekend. I've had a rough couple of weeks, so I'm really looking forward to simply doing nothing. Jeremiah says he used web captioner last week during a broadcast and it was great. Now, Stephen, I've seen you use web captioner and it looked fantastic. I haven't, I've played around with it. I haven't yet used it in the broadcast. It's very responsive. I'm very, very impressed with it. So that is absolutely great. The one thing I was trying to figure out still with web captioner is when you're doing the screen share, you're obviously going to miss out when you start your broadcast. Your captions are not going to start right at the beginning because you obviously have to hit start. So that's the one thing that I'm still trying to wrap my head around when it comes to using web captioner.
All you need to do is say, I'm going to switch the web captioner on now, and that's it. Because you certainly, if you open it in a separate browser tab, then you've got access to that tab. You can click the button anytime. Or just don't speak before you click it.
You're not going to believe this.
Yes, that would be the answer, is don't talk until you've clicked it.
Am I still on?
You're still on, Peter.
Yes, you are.
Believe it or not, it didn't understand my Scottish accent. Can you believe that?
Yep. You've got to train it, Peter. You've got to train it. The more you train it? Yeah, the more you use it, the more it will understand.
Right.
Yeah, it's like any voice recognition software. It needs to get used to you as well. You getting used to it, and I'm just glad that the word about is getting round. So shout out to David Burrows who brought it to us.
Yeah, I still don't understand it. I can't understand what while we're speaking, the words come underneath my face. How do you get that bit done?
Why should it be under your face? It's on the screen at the side of you. You put it into the lobby section. Let's just do this. It's easier than...
Right.
I'm going to do it before we close the show. So I'm going to go to Web Captioner.
Yeah.
And I'm opening it up as a tab. Okay, so I've got a new tab with the web caption on it.
Yeah.
I've got start captioning.
Yeah.
And it's going to start captioning now. And it will understand my voice. Now, what I need to do is share my desktop, go to the tab with the web captioner in, bring that tab, excuse me a moment, I want to volunteer.
And Peter, you do when you set up Web Captioner, you can select the accent or the, you know, whether it's UK English or American English or South African English or whatever, you know, so you can select the accent.
It's not got UK Scottish.
No, but it's got English.
Oh, doesn't it?
And it can actually understand what I'm saying, but it can only hear me.
Yes.
So everything that I say is being transcribed as we go, and it just works so well. What you've got to do is learn to slow your speech a little bit, so that it gives you the system chance. So you need to have an even cadence to your actual what you're saying, and every time you go then it will go too. So you've got to watch that as well. But what you can do at the end of the show or the end of the transcription is you can actually download it and use it as the basis of a blog. So it's very simple. Yeah.
So when you stop speaking, right? Now it looks very cluttered there. Can you not say new paragraph?
New paragraph. Testing. 1, 2, 3.
It worked.
Yes, I can, Peter.
It worked.
There you go. Because it was
very
a bit
intuitive.
Because that what do you call that? Forums, Google Forums. That's when you stop. When you're speaking, you go period, and then it go new paragraph. So it works the same way. Very
period.
Good. Well, we've learned something there.
New paragraph. Peter has been training me how to use Web Captioner. Thank you, Peter.
Try this one. How now, brown cow?
Okay. How now, brown cow?
The rain in Spain.
No, new paragraph.
Peter's having you on.
Round the ragged rock, the rugged rascals ran.
Well, here, listen. That's just something simple, and it worked. Oh, of course, you've got to see it on camera. Or I wonder if there was a big post. Hi, my name is Peter Stewart, and I come from Aberdeen, which is part of Scotland, blah, blah, blah. I just wonder if it would do that.
Well, you do anything you tell it to. Alfredo.
Yes, thank you, Peter, for telling me about the new paragraph option. I didn't know that existed in Be.Live. I have my daughter here. As you know, I'm a family man, and in any case,
I thought it was a pixie.
No, it's not a pixie. So,
well done. Very good.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that with the new paragraph option. And it's
well, I didn't share it. I phoned out myself.
Oh,
But that's very good because it does. If you were doing that to a congregation, you would probably have to say new paragraph. So there must be a way of it knowing it's a new paragraph.
Well, I don't use this in the church per se because sometimes, like what Stephen says, you have to slow down your cadence of what you're saying, and it does sometimes pick the wrong word if you speak too fast. So if I say red, brown, cow, round,
it could be embarrassing.
Yes,
Could I just, because of this, could I just say, I went into a cafe once, very loud cafe, and they had the television on, and it was the news. And I couldn't hear a word they say. I went up to the counter and I said, "Excuse me, would you mind putting on the subtitles?" "Oh yeah, I'm sure we can do that." And when I went back, the subtitles were still on. And I says, "Oh, thank you, you must have knew I was coming." She goes, "No, see, since we've done that, a couple of deaf people come up to us and said, 'Thank you for putting on the words. It's made our cafe much more enjoyable for us.'" So there you go. So that's a good reason to use it.
Brilliant.
Absolutely. I know that on LinkedIn, for example, it's increased so much, the engagement level when people add subtitles. It just makes your broadcast more inclusive. Anyway, we've reached the top of the hour, believe it or not. Time flies when you're having fun, right? So I want to say thank you to everyone who's joined us live today. Thank you to Darren. Thank you to Andy. Thank you, Kelly. Thank you, Chuck. Who did I miss? Jeremiah's joined us. Darren joined us. Kelly joined us. Tish joined us.
Yes.
So thank you everyone who's joined us live today. We were talking green screens mainly today, whether how you can use it both on Mac and Windows. It is possible. Both virtual cameras are still new. They're still developing. It's going to get better and better, but the options are available to you both on Windows and on Mac. And yes, you can use it with Be.Live, because we were using our green screens with Be.Live TV today. So I want to wish every one of you a great weekend from me, Bridgetti Limban in Cape Town, South Africa. We'll see you back next week, same time, same place. Have fun, everyone, and have a great weekend.
Bye.
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 That's an